Okay, so you know how everyone's always wondering, like, what makes relationships work?
Hmm.
Like what makes people compatible?
Yeah.
So for today's deep dive, we found this fun little, like, kind of astrological cheat sheet.
Okay.
It's one of those things you see on social media, right? It's like a little snippet.
Yeah.
And it's suggesting, which zodiac sign should be like relationship dynamite
Interesting.
together. So we are going to explore 6 of these pairings and kind of dig into the vibes this source is highlighting
Okay.
and maybe give you a little something to think about in terms of your own, connections and stuff.
I'm excited.
Right.
So,
What's fascinating to me right off the bat is how these little quick hits, you know,
yeah.
they tap into some really fundamental ideas about what people seek in partnership,
Right.
even if it is just scratching the surface a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first up is Aries and Sagittarius.
Okay.
And our snippet says they are passionate and adventurous.
When you think about that combo, what kind of energy comes to mind for you?
Well, you've got 2 fire signs here, right?
Right.
So think about the element of fire. It's dynamic, it's energetic.
Yeah.
So you put those 2 together, and often you see, a real zest for life
Uh-huh.
and kind of a shared desire to explore,
Yeah.
always trying new things.
Right.
So for you, the listener, this might resonate if you really thrive on excitement
Yeah.
and having a partner who is always up for something new.
Totally.
But then it also raises the question of how do you balance that need for, constant motion
Right. Right.
with the desire for stability in a relationship?
Yeah, that's a great point. Okay, so let's look at Taurus and Capricorn.
Right.
Stable and loyal is the description here.
Hmm.
And that leads to an unbreakable bond, it says.
Wow.
That sounds like the foundation that a lot of people are looking for.
Exactly. And, both Taurus Capricorn are earth signs.
Right.
And earth signs tend to be very grounded, practical, and they value security.
Yeah.
So that shared element,
Uh-huh.
it suggests that there's kind of a natural understanding when it comes to building a life together,
Right.
valuing commitment, and creating that sense of long-term security.
Right.
So for you listening, think about, how important is that feeling of reliability
Mm-hmm.
and a really solid foundation, in your ideal relationship.
Yeah, totally makes perfect sense. Okay, moving on to Gemini and Libra.
Okay.
This one says, great communication and fun energy equals a power couple.
Oh, I love that.
It does sound like a blast.
It does.
So what's key here is that both Gemini and Libra are air signs.
Right.
And air signs, we know, are often associated with intellect communication and being sociable.
Mm-hmm.
So this pairing probably thrives on, lively discussions,
Oh, yeah.
shared ideas,
Mm.
and just enjoying each other's company in like social settings.
Yeah, for sure.
So for you, this might highlight how important it is to have a partner who you can talk to easily and who brings that sense of fun and intellectual stimulation to the relationship.
Totally.
All right. So next we have Cancer and Pisces.
Oh, okay.
This says deep emotional connection and pure romance.
Wow.
So that sounds incredibly intimate.
It does. And, Cancer and Pisces are both water signs.
Right.
Water signs are all about those emotions, very connected to their intuition.
Right.
So I think this suggests a relationship that's really built on a strong sense of empathy, understanding each other's feelings,
Yeah.
and a real focus on emotional intimacy and romantic gestures.
Yeah.
For you, this might speak to the desire to have a partner who is emotionally attuned,
Right.
with whom you can share your deepest feelings.
Absolutely. Okay, next up is Leo and Aquarius. This one is interesting.
Okay.
It says a dynamic mix of confidence and innovation.
Interesting.
So it seems like maybe some different energies there.
Yeah. So Leo's a fire sign, often associated with confidence and, kind of a desire for attention.
Yeah.
Aquarius is an air sign,
Right.
and that's linked to innovation and independent thinking.
Right.
So this dynamic mix that the source is talking about suggests that, their contrasting traits could actually complement each other.
Right.
Leo bringing the passion and Aquarius offering those fresh perspectives.
I see.
So for you, this might raise the question of how you feel about a partner who might have, very different approaches to things
Right.
or different viewpoints.
Yeah. Intriguing stuff. And finally, we have Virgo and Scorpio.
Okay.
Deep, intellectual, and intensely devoted.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like a very intense and thoughtful connection.
It does. So Virgo is an earth sign,
Right.
and that's often associated with intellect and practicality. whereas Scorpio is a water sign known for its passion and intensity.
Okay.
So this combo suggests a relationship that values both mental connection and deep commitment. That intensely devoted aspect points to a strong sense of loyalty,
Yeah.
while deep intellectual hints at, stimulating conversations, a really profound understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Wow.
A quick astrological peek at 6 potential power couples,
Yeah.
at least according to our source.
Right.
But I think it is, it's a fun way to think about some of the dynamics
Yeah.
that might play out in relationships.
Yeah. And what I think is really interesting to consider is how these brief descriptions,
Yeah.
which are rooted in these astrological archetypes, how they touch on these sort of universal needs in relationships.
Right.
That balance between excitement and stability,
Yeah.
the importance of communication and emotional connection, and then how different energies can either clash or complement each other.
Exactly. So, as always, we want to hear from you.
Yeah?
Think about which of these pairings, if any, spark a connection with your own experiences.
Right.
Or what you look for in a partner.
Yeah, great question.
And maybe even more importantly, think about what other unseen forces beyond